up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done watching the finale of Loki. Yes, it's bittersweet. It was only 6 episodes. It felt like it flew by. I am loving these Marvel TV shows, especially even more so after Loki. Let's start off with the beginning. I'm going to try to go through at least some of my thoughts of the series overall, and then I'll get into the finale. First, at the beginning, you see that Avengers Loki. This is 2012 Loki. This is still evil-ass Loki who wanted to destroy New York and lead an army of aliens to kill us all. So remember, he was a piece of shit. The scene from Avengers Endgame where he takes off, he escapes with the Tesseract, and he gets captured by the TVA. Our first introduction of the TVA, you come to find out that they're a time organization that keeps track of everything in the timeline, tries to keep things in order. You get this whole explanation from Miss Minutes, voiced by Tara Strong. Miss Minutes is such a delight. I don't know by the end of this if I'm supposed to like Miss Minutes. She could be a horrible thing, whatever she is. But before I get into everything else, I want to say that my favorite character of this show, which might be a surprise, this doesn't mean that I don't like anyone else. It just means that I loved Mobius. Owen Wilson as Mobius. I did not expect to enjoy him as much as I did. When you start off in that first episode and Mobius is talking to Loki, trying to not just interview him, but get to know him deep as far as why Loki does what he does, why he betrays everybody, why he lies. Just Mobius feels like there's something more to Loki deep down, and he's trying to chip away at it. And there's something about that warmth, and there's something about just the way Owen Wilson played that. It wasn't too silly, but he also had his Owen Wilson charm, to where I love this guy. I was like, I want to see more of him. Obviously, Tom Hiddleston was great as Loki. He's always been great. It's crazy that he's been playing this character for 10 years now. And to see how, because yes, the Loki from Ragnarok and Infinity War, he went through so much of a growth that I didn't know how I would feel about going backwards to a Loki that was this evil. But I loved how they just caught him up. It was so easy to get that Loki back by just showing him his life, all of these important events in his life, bringing him through that emotional journey so that he basically does experience everything. And we're now left with essentially the Loki that we fell in love with towards the end. Yes, he still has his moments of deceitfulness. He still has his moments of lying. He still has his moments of, oh, we still can't trust this guy in certain occasions. But he still ultimately, at the end of the day, was a good guy. I find Loki fascinating. Some of the side characters, especially from the TVA, we have Hunter B-15, who at first I thought she was just going to be somebody not to like, somebody that was going to treat the variants like crap and just be horrible. But once she discovered some things and some secrets about the TVA, you saw that, no, okay, she's a cool character. Ravonna Renslayer, she's the one who's kind of in charge, or of at least this division. She follows orders, takes orders from the Timekeepers, and I really like this actress. I do, because she did a great job of, I want to believe her, I want to go along with her, pretty much the way how Mobius does, because she's attractive and she's nice in a way where she's clearly manipulating you, but I can see how you can fall into that trap. And then she also plays it, though, to where you know that she's keeping secrets or that she's lying, and so you know that she's not ultimately to be trusted. And then we get introduced, I believe, episode 3, to Sylvie, played by Sophia Di Martina. And I liked Sylvie because, well, she was a Loki. She was a variant of Loki, Lady Loki. At first, I was caught off guard because she didn't have the black hair and she didn't want to be called Loki. She was called Sylvie. That made some people start to think that maybe she's not Loki, maybe she's the Enchantress. She had similar abilities to the Enchantress. It seems like Marvel just took those two characters and put them into one. So she is Lady Loki, but she does have the name and abilities of the Enchantress. I like that. I like that because of her past, her backstory, how her life was taken from her from the TVAs, and because she's technically a Loki, that she hates it. She wanted to change her name, change her hair, have a new identity. And at first you think that she's the villain or going to be the main villain, but no. Her and Loki have an interesting dynamic, an interesting relationship. It's pretty trippy by the 4th and 5th episode when you not only learn Sylvie's backstory, but you see Loki start to fall for her, and that causes this huge cataclysmic event that could destroy the world, and it's bizarre, but I kind of like the idea that the only person that Loki can fall in love with is a version of himself. It does sound insanely narcissistic. It does sound kind of goofy, but I loved it. It's something about the way the actors played it, their chemistry, me somehow, some way wanting to see them get together because they're both damaged, because they both come from such tragic backstories, to find peace with each other. I think there's something nice about that. It was great to see Lady Sif, Jamie Alexander. It was great to see her come back because I was so disappointed that she wasn't in Ragnarok. I think she's going to be in Thor Love and Thunder. You find out that the Timekeepers are bullshit, that they're robots, that they were fake, that there was somebody else behind it. And I wondered if the show would go there. I wondered if they, I don't want to say had the balls, but if they would reveal who was behind it, or at least have this person be the one that was behind it. I was kind of glad that the Timekeepers were fake because it just, that was always a little goofy. 3 aliens on a throne who somehow know everything and control everything. When Mobius got pruned, I was so sad, I was disappointed, I was angry, because pruning, it looks like people die when you get pruned. They get evaporated and you just feel like they turn into dust, erased from existence. And it crushed me. Like I said, Mobius, my favorite character. It just, man, it was brutal. And then Loki got pruned at the end of that same episode, and you thought, okay, whoa. I mean, for a second I thought, is Sylvie just going to become the main character? Like, what direction are we going to go here? This is before he tried to profess his love to her, of course. And then you see that, no, when you get pruned, you wind up in something called the Void. And the Void is just this end of time place where a bunch of people have been pruned, and a bunch of Lokis have been pruned. That's where we see Richard E. Grant as classic Loki, as cheesy and as silly as that costume look. I love that they did that. I love that they did this. Just having a bunch of different Lokis. You had a black Loki. You had Kid Loki, which I got a kick out of seeing. And then you had Alligator Loki. I thought nothing could be more silly than Frog Thor, which we do get a cameo of, which was great. But Alligator Loki was amazing, even though we never understood what he was saying, even though he had a temper and he was angry and vicious and violent. I loved it. And then that brings us to the end. The end, the last episode, the finale. Sylvie and Loki go to the end of time. They find the man that is responsible, he who remains. It's Kang the Conqueror. Now, they didn't say Kang by name, but it's Jonathan Majors. It's the actor that had already been announced to be playing Kang and Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. So that's still happening. And when you get to this point and you see this version of Kang talk about how everything went to crap with the multiverses, how they started off in peace and then eventually exploded into war, and how everyone and everything was almost destroyed until he himself brought order together, created the TBA, kept everyone in check, kept everyone separate. And you start to realize that, man, this guy is playing God. This guy, it's almost too much power for one person, but and yes, he even admits that he's kind of a villain. But when he was telling them that, like, hey, either you two Lokis can take this over, or you can kill me and destroy everything and start another war. And it just, there was something about him that I really enjoyed his performance in just this one scene, because he came off as he could be lying, but I wanted to believe him, and I felt like I believed him. So when Loki stops Sylvie from trying to kill him, and Loki is saying, hey, I believe this guy, I was on Loki's side, and it didn't make me think that he was dumb for believing him. It all made sense. And Sylvie, I understood her pain. Her life was taken away. Her whole goal was to kill the person responsible for the TVA. And this was it. This was her life's goal, and she was there. She couldn't give it up. And it was a stalemate. They fought. But man, Sylvie she did it. She killed Kang. She killed this version of Kang, possibly the nicest version of Kang. He warned her that a more evil version of him was coming, which I'm sure that's what we're setting up. That's what we will see whenever we do see him later on. I love this for the setup. I know some people might be either disappointed that it wasn't more closure, that it was set up, or that it did end on a cliffhanger. Hell, some people might be even upset that it was a lot of talking in this, but I loved it. I love that they took the time to explain what the hell is coming. And the fact that this show, Loki, of all shows, Loki is the one that really is kicking things off as far as time travel, the future, the multiverse. Like, we're going to feel the ramifications of what Sylvie did for years to come, for multiple movies to come. As soon as this year with Spider-Man No Way Home, we're going to see variants. We're going to see more of different versions of characters, and I am excited for what's to come, what's in the future, what's in store. I loved this episode and the whole show in general. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Loki, the whole season as a whole, or the finale? Did you like it? Did you love it? Were you disappointed? That's fine. We can talk about it. Let us not forget that they announced that season 2 is coming, and that's huge. That's ginormous. That's insane. It's the first Marvel Disney Plus show that we're getting a season 2 of, so that's exciting. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.